Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome back to a new video today. Today we're going to be going over and discussing the number one deck for the next format, which comes out in Photon Nova, and it is the Kashtira Tearlaments. And as you see, I've got them right here on screen. So basically what this deck does is a lot of nothing good. More specifically, they banish a lot of shit, and it's not really fair to play against it, period. So, the main cards, as you see, all the OCG ones are the ones that will be added post Photon Nova, and will be very good. And this deck is completely done. This is the exact cards that I will run for it. The side deck might change a little, but not very much. So, without further ado, we play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. All the Kashtira cards can be special summoned if you control no monsters, all the main ones. So, this goes for your Fenrir, your Unicorn, and your Ogre down here. They all can be special summoned if you control no monsters. There are other ways to get them out. This is not the only way. There's a lot of extenders and just instant combos with this deck. It's kind of crazy. Even if you hit it with 2 negates, you're probably not going to stop the inevitable, because this deck has just got so much gas and there's a lot to it that it's really hard to explain. So Fenrir, everybody knows Fenrir. If you don't know Fenrir, he can add a monster. This is an ignition effect, not a trigger effect, and it is not a quick effect. So if something happens to Kashtira Fenrir as he's hitting the board, his effect will not go off. And also they have a secondary effect. If I can get over here and get to it. Well, let me do this. So, Fenrir here, he has a secondary effect that states, when this card declares an attack or if your opponent activates a monster effect, except during damage step, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and banish it face down. Anytime you banish a card face down, this deck goes completely haywire, and there's 3 main monsters, as in Fenrir, Unicorn, and Ogre, that this effect will apply, and they will banish cards face down. Fenrir does it from the field face up. Unicorn does it from the extra deck. And Ogre does it to your one of your next 5 cards that you're going to draw. And they go back in the same order. You choose one and banish it. Kind of crazy. So, with that being said, again, some really good cards here. Now we're going to get into the other ones. Well, let me explain Unicorn real quick. Unicorn adds a spell, pretty simple, and Ogre grabs the trap. So, like any of the traps, like we run one preparation and 1 big bang. Big bang is a extender, and it is a combo breaker that's insane once you get a board set up. So, let's go over some of the other cards, and then I will show you the combos and how this deck really works. This video will be a little long, probably 30 minutes, because I have to explain everything about this deck because it is new. And if you all do not know what this deck does, and you go across the table of it day 1, you are going to get smoked. For real, like nobody's business. Now, if you do know how they play, and you kind of build an anti-meta to it, you may not be able to stop it, because it's got so much gas. It just doesn't stop. It's relentless. I have played this deck against the banned decks that are available on YGO Omega now, and this deck just blows them out of the water. It doesn't matter if you put a Baron, Colossus, and the Adventure package. This deck will break through it like nobody's business. So, with that being said, let's go over the Kashtira Tearlament, or the Tearlaments Kashtira, which is a Tearlament. How nice. So, during the main phase, you can spell summon this card, and if you do, banish one Kashtira or Tearlament card from your hand or graveyard. So if you use effect of a Tearlament to mill, and you hit any of your Tearlament cards, including Solic, Omnis, any of those, or you hit another Kashtira Tearlament, you're going to be able to banish it, summon that, and then if this card is, if it's special summoned that way, it will mill the top 3 cards of your deck or your opponent's, your choice. More than likely they're going to go their own, because if they have the Xyz monster out, which all cards get banished, some of the Kashtira cards do activate, so kind of broken. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send, I think it's the top 2. Yeah, let's see here. I want the actual correct. Let's see here. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, which is a lot of stuff, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. It's very nice that it has the mobility to actually keep extending like that. Now, next on our list, now you know what Kashtira Tearlament does, and it is a level 7, like all the other Kashtira cards. Besides Rise Heart. Now, Rise Heart has a special effect. So if you control a Kashtira card, you can special summon this card for free. And also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except for Xyz monsters. So if you do special summon this card, you will be locked into Xyz. So if you have a handful of Tearlaments, I would do that first, and then I would go for Rise Heart, because Rise Heart is just so incredible, and it allows a lot of stuff to happen. First of all, if you banish this spell right here, you can add one of your Kashtira cards back. That's one outcome that you can have with this. Another outcome you could have is you banish Big Bang. This is the ultimate extender. Now, why is it the ultimate extender? If this card is banished, you can target one Xyz monster, detach a Kashtira card from that material, add it to hand, and then special summon it for free, just by banishing this one card. And it allows you to get into another rank, and you can probably get into your Rise Heart, and you can keep extending, and it can go off. So, like I said, Rise Heart does a lot for the deck, and plus, since you're going to be locked under Macrocosmos here, there's going to be a lot you can do with it as it is. So with that, we will get on to the Kashtira Scareclaw. This is one of the best cards, and very overlooked. As you see, the Scareclaw can attack while in face-up defense. Great, has 2600 defense. You can use the defense for damage calculation. Fantastic. Now, why is this card so good? Well, first of all, Avermax is going to hate this card because he cannot activate. His effects are negated completely. Allow me to explain. Close this back down. And with our lovely, I don't know, I'm probably going to do it this way. Yeah, so if I go here and then I slide all the way down. So, this is why our Kashtira Scareclaw is so good. So first of all, to summon it during the main phase, quick effect, either player's turn, you special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, banish one Kashtira or Scareclaw card from your hand or graveyard. You only use this effect of Kashtira Scareclaw once per turn. This card can attack while in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. The effects of any opponent's monster that was involved in a battle with your Kashtira or Scareclaw monsters this turn, while this card was face-up on the field, are negated. So just automatically, the effects of Avermax are just negated, and nothing can happen. It's not a target, it just negates the effect for the battle phase. And if you know how the Kashtira deck works, this can get, if there's 4 different attributes on the field or more, it will be able to slam right into Avermax. and take him out. It's pretty crazy how that can transpire, but the Scare Claw really opens up a world of possibilities when it comes to breaking boards, and it does that quite effectively. I do say so myself. So with that being said, we have Ogre. We already know what Ogre does. This is Birth. Kashtira Birth, what it does is you can normal summon level 7 monsters without tributing. That is used for your normal summon. So once you use this, you cannot normal summon again, which is fine because you don't really need your normal summon. Just gonna be honest. That might be the only normal summon you do, is just a Kashtira card to extend, and then you start summoning them out. Like absolute haywire. If your opponent first of all, during your main phase, you can special summon one of your non-Xyz Kashtira monsters that are banished or in your graveyard. With the Macrocosmos, there's going to be one banished. And you basically want to have them in banished because you can pull a lot of them back. And with cards like Papyrus, which is the spell I was talking about a minute ago, when one's banished, you can add it back to hand, which is very nice. So if your opponent does use a spell card or effect while you control a Kashtira monster, which you always will, you can target up to 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard and banish them face down, which means all your Kashtira cards will trigger off of this. So with that being said, we go to Kashtira Papyrus. Now, why is this card so good? Well, here's why. You target one Kashtira monster you control. Special summon one Kashtira monster with a different attribute from the deck in defense position. Okay, so if you control Unicorn, you can use Papyrus to target the Unicorn, summon up the Fenrir, use Fenrir's effect to grab you literally any Kashtira monster. Nuts, but it is what it is. And for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Xyz monsters. So this one will also lock you into the Xyz monsters, which is fine because you're going to go into an Xyz anyway. Second of all, if this card becomes banished, period, quotations, you can target one of your banished Kashtira cards except for Papyrus and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Very nice. Next is the field spell, which is Prime Planet Periosis. When this card is activated, you can add one Kashtira monster from deck to hand. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each different attribute among the monsters on the field. All the Kashtiras are different attributes, so as long as they're all different names, besides the Scareclaw and the Fenrir, they will gain 100 attack defense for all the different ones you control. So the cost, again, the Scareclaw can get pretty freaking high because you're going to control a lot of different attributes and your extra deck monsters. One of them is dark, so it will add another 100, which is nice. So, you know, with this, that does a lot. If Shangri-La, which is this card right here, activates its effect, which normally you do it in standby, you can target one card on the field and pop it. Pretty simple. And that is the trigger effect of this card. So then next, I believe that is, yeah, that's all it does. You can use each effect once per turn, blah blah blah. I think you can only activate one per turn. That would make sense because then it wouldn't be broken. Go to Prime Planet. Yeah, you can only activate it once per turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So yeah, they're hard once per turn, which is really needed because this deck is just haywire. And then we got Kashtira Preparations, which is the only trap you're really going to grab with Ogre. I don't really see me grabbing Big Bang. It's more of just the extender. It is a great card just to have in the deck. Or Rise Heart, send it, becomes level 7. Special summon one off an Xyz monster. Go to Rise Heart into something else like Mind Hacker or Dracosac, or even the Raid Raptor, because we are running the barrier statue. There are many different ways you can go about this. You can lock your opponent out. You can do a lot of shit. So with Kashtira preparations, during either player's turn, you can special summon one Kashtira monster that is banished or in your hand. If your opponent activates a trap card or effect while you control a Kashtira monster and this card is already face up in your spell and trap zones, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish one card from it face down. So if you're playing a trap deck, I suggest this card because you can literally shut it down quick. Really fast. So then next we're going to go to our Tearlament engine. So our Tearlament engine starts with one prime evil planet Perlino. So we all know Perlino. Add a tier of his Starfrost from your deck to hand. Fusion monsters and Tearlament monsters gain 500 attack while this card is on the field. If a Tearlament monster you control is shuffled, you control or is in your graveyard is shuffled into the deck or extra deck, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So very nice with Perlino. Sharon, very easy card. During your main phase, you can spell summon this card, send one monster to the graveyard, then mill the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can fusion summon one. Basically, you can fusion summon. And they all have that effect except for Rhinoheart here. Rhinoheart has different effects. If he has normal special summon, he can send a Tearlament monster from deck to grave. Except for Rhinoheart, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon this card, banish it when it leaves the field, and if you do, send one Tearlament card from hand to graveyard. I don't know if it's. I think it's monster, but it's a really good extender because you can add the Tearlament monsters off of Kit Kalos here. And then we play the one Marley in this build. Card is normal special summon, you can send the top 3 to the grave. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from the extra deck, replacing fusion materials listed on it on the bottom of the deck in any order you choose. Obness has that same effect, but it does have a good one. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can special summon this card, mill the top 3, and if it is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can fusion summon by placing them on the bottom, blah blah blah, you get it. Solic is another good one because if you do mill this card, you're going to be adding a Tearlament monster, which is probably going to be the one that your opponent really just has to answer for, or they're going to be really mistaken because it's really going to hit hard. Because if this goes off with any of the Tearlament cards, it's going to add one of them that's just going to be able to mill, and when it mills, it's going to fusion summon, and it's going to go Kit Kalos. You're going to send the other one, and you're going to go straight into Kalos, and it's all over again. But this card, you control a Tearlament monster, or if this is Starfrost, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, then send one monster you control to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, again, you can add the Tearlament monster. You get it. We do play the 3 D-Fissure. D-Fissure is very important in this deck. And as of right now, I am playing 3D Fissure and 3D Shifter. This is the meta call. This is what you will play. So if you can't get your Xyz monster on the board for whatever reason, and I do not know how you couldn't do it, because you run 2 of them, and the Xyz summon of this card is not once per turn. So even if you're playing the mirror match, they banish one, you still have another. And there's a lot of good options in this deck that if they do banish your one-ofs, you still have more to go to. I'm actually trying to incorporate a second Mind Hacker in this deck, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to get rid of. So with that being said, again, the D-Fissure and D-Shifters are absolutely needed. These can be either Book of Eclipse or the Swords of what? Like swords. Hang on, I'll search it on here so you all can see it. I think it's Swords of Concealing Light, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that one right there. The Swords of Concealing Light. So, this is another good one. This is a really good card that they're starting to incorporate, and I do like this card because destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. When this card resolves, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Monsters your opponent controls cannot change their battle positions. So when this card is activated, as long as they don't have an out to it and they can't draw an out in the next 2 standby phases, you basically win the game because they cannot play. That's just how it works. It's a very, very good card that you can run that, or Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse, I like it because I can do it on my opponent's turn, and really stop their battle phase, to where Concealing Light, I have to do it like on like turn 2. So Concealing Light, I will probably take out the imperms and definitely side the Concealing Light, just so if I go in a game and I'm chosen to go second, I would like to use Concealing Light over Eclipse, because with Concealing Light I can really lock out their zones to where my Shangri-La can really lock out those zones and do the damage. So next is Metacall, triple tactic talent. Very, very good card for the draw effect, the take a monster, or look at your opponent's deck and choose one card and shuffle it in, because that will give you the hand knowledge, like all the other cards in this deck that allow you to do that. So tactics is very good. Again, we do play the barrier statue of the storm winds. This card will be sided out against like flu after first game, because this will not do me any good. So definitely side this out when you face flu into one of the side cards you see right there. Chaos Hunter is a good implement in this spot, and if you're facing flu, the Book of Eclipse you kind of want to keep, but overall the D shifters are not going to do you all that good. So if I was going against flu, I would probably side out my dimensional fissures and my D shifters and play like a lightning storm, harpies, even dark hole. Dark hole hits it really hard because you can destroy all monsters, and your little guy has an effect here where he can detach a card to save himself. So if you do dark hole, it'll clear the whole board, but you can then extend and keep playing. So kind of broken. So the last one is the Kashtira Big Bang, which I did say is the main card of the deck. And what the Big Bang does is, if a Kashtira exceeds monsters on the field, make both players banish monsters from their field face down, so they only control one. If this card becomes banished, you can target one Xyz Kashtira monster you control, add one monster Kashtira monster you own attached to it to your hand, then you can special summon it from your hand. Only use each effect once per turn. Again, a very good card, very broken. So I do like Big Bang a lot. And then we're gonna get into the new boss monster, and I need to read his description so you all can understand him as well as I do. So it takes 3 level 7 monsters to Xyz summon. Hold on, this can get real bad. There's an easier way to do it. Once per turn, if Kashtira Shangri-La, which is Shangri-Ira, which is the other Xyz monster, activate its effects this turn, you can Xyz summon Kashtira Arise Heart by using one Kashtira monster you control as material. So if you have like the Tearlaments or Rise Heart and you're like, man, I don't know what to do with it, use the effect Shangri-La right on top of it. Very simple. It's not that hard. It's a very simple card to use. It's really good. If you go turn 2, this is going to be an easy card to get into. And even if you go turn 1 and you get your Shangri-La out and you special the Rise Heart and you banish a card, that's going to activate Shangri-La, and it is going to start blocking out zones. The Shangri-La says right here, it's your opponent. So like basically how this would transpire is, if your opponent has like any spells to activate any monster effects on your turn with the Kashtira cards already on the field, with this card it will automatically activate and start locking out zones. Plus, if you make your Xyz monster and you do use the effect of Mind Hacker, this card will activate. So very big there, and it'll start locking out zones, which is what you want to do. But your Arise Heart here is the best card in this deck, hands down. So we already know how to exist summon it. Here's the second effect. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. There's a walking macrocosmos. Once per chain, not turn, once per chain, each time a card is banished, with the little quotations, attach one banished card to this card as material. Once per turn quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, target 1 card on the field, and banish it face down. So with that being said, it creates a lot of outs. And yes, if you're wondering where it banishes cards face down, you can attach face down cards to this card. That is a legal game state with this card, which is absolutely busted, but it can work. So next, we'll go over Shingra Ira. During each standby phase, which takes 2 or more level 7s, you're only going to use 2, there's no need to use anymore. During each standby phase, you can special summon 1 Kashtira monster from your deck. Just don't need standby phase. Draw phase, standby. Shingra Ira, special. You'll have to stop it. If not, it's going to be too much, and it's going to pop out like Fenrir, Unicorn, or Ogre. So with Shingra Ira here, each time a card your opponent owns and possesses is banished face down each time, you can choose one unused main monster zone or spell and trap zone. It cannot be used while this monster is face up on the field. If this card on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead to protect it. So, yeah, very good Xyz monster. Then next we do have the Dragon Stapelia, the Kit Kalos, which everybody knows Kit Kalos. I'm just gonna go over these real quick. Elida Heart, which is very good for sending cards back, and the Rukalos to negate summoning or special summoning effects. The Raid Raptor to help you get out your Storm Winds by detaching 1 material. Your Mind Hacker to really shut out games because it banishes cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down, equal to the number of face down banished cards. Very good there. And then you have Dracosac, which makes 2 tokens if you want the pop cards, or if you're trying to link climb. You can do it that way. Big Eye, if there's a card that is targetable, when you make this card, detach 1, target the card. Take control, cannot attack. This card cannot attack the turn that effect is activated. And then you got your the Dark Charmer, which, I mean, you may or may not be able to use this. I'm not even gonna lie, because you can't grab banished cards. And then you have your Magnite Crusadia Evermax, just to try and force full swing for a game. So, with that being said, that is the main and the extra deck. And the side deck is very simple. You run your Evenly for any matchup, your Chaos Hunter for other decks that like to banish, as in the Mirror Match, Flu, or Exosister, especially. Lightning Storm to help you clear boards. Again, Flu, Exosister, and Kashtira matchup. Feather Duster just for good measure. Dark Hole again will do the same bit of good, and it can clear the board, and then you can just play and extend. And these imperms are just here for now. We'll go ahead and we'll take these out and we'll put in the Concealing Light just so we can be fully accurate. So Concealing Light, very good. We'll go ahead and save this, and now I suppose I can give you the actual test run of the Kashtira deck, and I can show you what it does. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to play the Kashtira deck against the AI, whatever deck the AI chooses to run, and I will show you how this deck works. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So close this out. We'll go to local. We'll host it. We will choose our Kashtira Tearlaments, and we'll add a random card, random deck. So I like to go first with Kashtira. I feel like it's very good. Fortunately, I did draw that. Does that have to banish from deck? Your deck. Okay. So first of all, we are going to special summon the Fenrir. No. Let's set this card so I don't have to keep doing that activation. Activate that, and we are going to What card do I want? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's grab the Tearlaments. No. So we'll go ahead and activate that, and we will add a Kashtira card from deck to hand. And the monster that we will add. Let's try and grab us a unicorn. Not yet. So with all of the Kashtira cards, yeah, let's go ahead and do this, and we'll special summon the Kashtira monster. We'll send that, and we'll special summon the Rise Heart. In top 3, the Solid will add us. Let's add a Sharon, please. Now we are locked into Xyz monsters. We'll activate the effect, and we will banish. I could do Papayas and add back one of them. Could add back to Unicorn. It wouldn't really do me much good. We really don't have a really good setup for this because we drew the Big Bang, which kind of sucks. So I think in this situation, what we'll do is we can banish. You can really banish any of them. So let's banish the Kashtira for this, and we will go Shangri-Ira with you and you. Yep. Put it in the extra monster zone. And I believe I can normal summon that, but that wouldn't do me no good because I'm locked in. So we'll go ahead and we will pass turn. And nope. Now we're in standby. We'll go ahead and activate this, and we will not activate that, and we will special summon the Unicorn. No. Yeah, apparently they're going to try to go after that, so I'm just going to detach that, and then the Kashtira Tearlaments is going to activate. No. Sharon is going to activate, and we will get into our first copy of Kit Kalos. Here we go. Kit Kalos effect. So we can send. Let's send the Merle. Send the Grave. Merle effect, nope. And we will go Rukalos. Get that. We go Rukalos. We will not chain that. This is a pretty lame deck, if I had to be honest. It's not really the fairest thing I think I've ever seen. So we'll go ahead and we'll add the Tearlament back. No. Go ahead and activate that. We'll not do that. We will add the Birth now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to activate Birth. No. We'll then activate our Tearlament here. Special summon the Tearlament, and oh, you can do it too. How nice. So we'll do Big Bang. Target that, and we will go the Tearlament, and we'll not activate chain 3. We'll send the top 3 to grave. That. Yep. And then we can special summon it. Use the effect. Banish the Papayas. The effect of Papayas to add. I can go either. Let's get the Scareclaw for good measure, and yeah, we will activate. No. Guess I didn't lock out the zone, which that's okay. So from here, you can Xyz over that. Oh, I haven't used the effect. I'm sorry. What I did. Well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and make yeah, let's make a second one. Yep. Do that. Yep, you can do this. Nope. Place it there in defense. Then the effect, we can banish the Fenrir. No, let's not do that. Because you can go any way with this, but the best thing to do from here is to go with the Mind Hacker. Those two. Mind Hacker here. No. And it won't let me use Mind Hacker's effect. Great. So we're supposed to summon that, and we'll summon that. Yep. The Sharon. One, 2, and 3. Go Merle and Sharon. Didn't know that Kit Kalos. I mean, I don't think it's really gonna matter. Kit Kalos effect. Nope. We'll send a grave. From here. It still won't let me use Mind Hacker. Why? What's locking me from banishing? No, I had the material. Oh, we don't have an extra deck. That's what it is. So let's just go to battle. That's kind of funny. Nope. We go to battle there. Mind Hacker attack directly. And then we'll go with Kalos for game. Oh shit. No. That'd be 3K. So let's try this again. We'll go first again. See if we can't get a better outcome. So this is a very good option to go ahead and grab you a birth. Then we're going to activate the birth, and we are going to normal summon that. Activate effect to add the I'll go to. How do I keep drawing Big Bang? Oh. And we will actually activate the Tearlaments to special summon that. Let's banish a Fenrir. Tearlaments effect to middle top 3. I could do that. Hang on just a minute. So we need to go bang bang. Get that thing out. Then second of all, I need to do this. We go unicorn or yet, but let's grab Fenrir. Fenrir is more important at the moment. And then from here, I mean, I could make a second one, but I don't really see a point. You can go Mind Hacker, or you can go Arsenal Falcon. Arsenal Falcon wouldn't be bad here, but I'm not going to do that because we're actually set up in pretty good board state. I'm actually in pretty good shape to just pass. Shingra Ira will special summon the Scareclaw, so all battle effects are negated. Yeah, so we do have 2 triggers here. We will banish the Boot Stagger, and then the Kashtira will banish a card from the extra deck, and we do not want to see Deco Talker. Yeah, so Shangra Ira is going to lock out zones, and it will activate again, lock out 2 zones. As you see there, can't really do much, and then Shangra Ira will attempt detach, and then the Tearlaments will activate effect off the detach. So let's see here. Activate this, and we can actually grab the Papyrus, and then we can activate our lovely little guy here, and we can grab our Ogre. Now you can do this many different ways. The reason I did it this way is simply because with birth, because I really want to get this trap. And second of all, there's just a lot of outcomes that can happen with this deck. So I want to go ahead and target you so I can actually special summon my Rise Heart. Activate Rise Heart, and we can banish any card. Let's do the Tearlaments. Ira, unlock that out. And also, I forgot to mention his effect. He will banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck when that happens. So your Kashtira card will be able to activate there. So more specifically, you can just do this. Just be like, yep, I'm gonna throw him down right there. We're gonna do it just like that. So, with this being said, you can go any way about this. The way I'm gonna go about it is, I believe I still have a special summon to make, so I'm going to do this. Going the Fair Claw in this guy. And from there, I do still have the ability to grab the unicorn. There it is. So I will activate this. I will detach the Scareclaw. And I will pick another extra deck monster to banish. Let's do another decode. And his effect is going to trigger, and his effect's going to trigger, and he's going to banish 6 cards from the deck face down. Yeah, and then it's going to activate, lock out that zone, and you can detach, you can activate that to add the code talker, activate this, lock out the final monster zone, and I'm going to add your other decode. I can do this, detach 1, 2, and 3, and I can banish that face down. Activate chain. Activate chain, lock that out, and give me back your decode. So at this point, not doing very well for them. With the effect of unicorn, we will get to look at it, and we'll banish the last decode talker. So even if you are playing 3 ofs, it's going to get pretty nasty. As you can see, we're locking out every single zone and detaching cards. The effect of that's going to trigger. You declare 5. Look at the top 5, and you can banish any card from it. So, as I'm looking at this, the Link Slayer would be one of the best cards, but the Dark Hole is the one that I am after because it can actually stop some plays. If I can't do anything for it, we'll attach that and swing for game. So, with this, as you can see, that is what it does specifically. We will continue, and I'll give you one more show of it from the turn 2 perspective of whatever deck it puts me against. So let's do it again. We will go second this time. So as you see, we kind of drew a bad hand, but we are, yes, I will actually shift her here. All right, so what happens here is you can activate that. Yeah. So I need to add the unicorn to be able to extend. Not quite. So we will special summon our unicorn. And our unicorn will activate his effect. And we can either add Birth or we can add Papyrus. So there are 2 ways you can do it here. To really get into the cards that you're looking for, the best way to do this here is to actually add the Papyrus. Papyrus in this situation is more important than anything else. So we target that. And you can, we already got Rise Heart. You don't need Fenrir. Fenrir is not important in this game state. So you want to actually grab your Kashtira Tearlaments. And it will trigger. You will not do that. You will send top 3. Yep. And then you can do this. Special summon it. And you can banish. I don't do that. Yeah. I guess we're going to have to do it now. So from here, as you can see, there are some good cards in here. But what we will do, because we are trying to extend. There you go. And you will actually activate Defissure. go to battle. Going into that, activate unicorn effect. Looking good. I don't like your access code. Ira, lockout zone. And that, we will pop your back row because I don't want to see that. And we can go actually main 2, and look at this. That's just someone right there. Now we've got a boss monster out. So we can pass turn here. And a lot of shit will happen, as in the, again, activating, and we will special summon the unicorn, because if I can banish any one card, this can get nasty. Again, no monster effects. Ira again will activate, and we'll actually grab the Fenrir on this occasion. That we will pop that card, and we can attach the access code. Activate to get birth this time. Then I can use birth, use effect to grab any Kashtira card. I'm gonna grab Ogre again. I want my trap, so I'm gonna go ahead and normal summon it without attributing. Use the effect to grab the preparations. At the preparations, set a Solic, and from here you're going to go Mind Hacker with Ogre and the Unicorn. We will put that one in the next monster zone so we can create a few zones. We will go Birth, and we will grab us a Rise Heart. We'll use Rise Heart effect to banish the Big Bang. Now here we go. Big Bang effect. Lock that out. Yep. And then we will go Diablos. We will add the let's go grab the Kashtira. Yep. Face up. And we will attach your Solemn Wishes. The trigger effect of that, we will then lock out another zone. The trigger effect of that will send let's see, I do have another activation to detach to 3. Finish card face down. Effect to send 3. Effect to attach. Effect to lock out. Let's attach the Skull Servant. And from here, you can go any way you want. At this point, it does not matter. So I will detach the Unicorn. I know your extra deck. We'll go ahead and get rid of the second access code and the effect. We will add your access code. Thank you. As you can see, it's a pretty loaded board. We're actually not done. So we can go like this here. Create another one. So we can really lock out all the zones on the next turn. And basically we can pass because no matter what happens, our opponent will not have a good response. That's fine. So go ahead and just use this card's effect. And so we do have the Kashtira, so we'll go to the Unicorn. We'll not do that. Yeah. So I can activate your quick effect. Go 1, 2, 3, bang, and banish the card you just set. I'll do that. Trigger effect of that, and we do have them both activating. Yep. We'll do you. Lock that out. Yep. We'll do Mind Hacker. And we will not change that. So we'll attach your access code again. We'll use the Prime Evil to pop that card. Then these two will activate simultaneously. Lock out more zones. No, we will not chain this off. And there we go. And we will attach your card as material. And will not activate this off. Let's grab your Solemn Wishes. So from here, You're basically gonna banish the rest of the deck. Basically. So you're gonna banish that. Yeah. No, we're not gonna do that. This, you can pick any card. As you face down. Effect of these two will lock out the final two zones. Okay. Then Mind Hacker to banish the deck. Oops. Bang. No, let's not do that. Nope. We're good there. In turn, because our opponent will not be able to draw the out. It is not feasibly possible in this game state to draw the out. It's not gonna happen. You can go any way you want about it. There's no need to extend because you have the game won. There's nothing that you're gonna be able to do, or your opponent's gonna be able to do, to actually stop you. So declare attack, unicorn trigger, nothing else. Say okay, ABC, banish. Yeah, we can actually do that. No, we don't. There's no more zones you can actually lock out. You can't lock out the extra monster zone. Yeah, it's not even gonna let me activate the Mind Hacker here. So basically, I just end turn because anytime a card goes to the graveyard, it'll be game. And I'm just gonna see this out here. In turn. I'm just gonna draw. They're gonna go in phase because they can't play. And your opponent decks out. Very simple. Okay. That is the Kashtira deck. That's what it does. That's what it can do. And that's how bad it can swarm. Again, we're not facing the most competitive decks, but with this, you get the idea of how powerful this deck can be and how fast it can really hit. As you see, we can banish 34 cards in the matter of, what was it? Like, how many turn? Is that 3 or 13? So, turn 13. So, we managed to banish the whole deck in turn 13. The only reason we went to turn 13 is strictly because we was trying to banish the entire deck and we was just locking out zones. As you see, we got all 10 zones locked out. The only zone you cannot lock out is the extra monster zone. That is the zone you can't lock out. So with that being said, you can see the deck, you can see what it does, see how fast it is, how frequent the combos, the little extenders into this deck, and just how crazy this deck can be. So without further ado, I will show the deck one more time. And as this is the deck, and this is the proportions that I will be using them in day of launch, you get to see a good variation of this deck and really how it plays in all the different ways that this deck just extends beyond belief. So if you have any questions about this build whatsoever, leave it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this deck. Let me know if you think you can build a strategy to beat this deck, and if you're going to play cards such as like Imperial Iron Wall, Chaos Hunter. I'm going to tell you this right now, this deck can break through it very easily because it is not only banishing cards, but it is using the Tearlaments cards in order to pursue its success. So even if you do stop the banishing of cards, the Tearlaments cards are there to sit in the grave to extend into Rukalos, Rhino Heart, and Kit Kalos. So it just consistently puts up big bodies, and with the Tearlaments and the Kashtira cards being big beat sticks, they are very hard to break through. So without further ado, I am Pierce Nation, and I will see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.